What's going on, guys? It's your host, the Commissioner, here at Commissioner's Corner. It's the bi-weekly, so it's no guest this week here. So, yep, Commissioner's Corner, different thing than confiding with the Commissioner. Just doing my video. It's funny, I was going to come with a lot of energy, and then I came home, smoked a little bit, and I'm like, damn, I got to do this video. So, apologies for all that. Actually, let me get this door. This door shouldn't be open. So the futon cushion is out of the room now. I got some things I'm gonna hang up to make a little more ambiance for the pod, and just my game room in general. This is where I'd be doing the games. Like, for fuck's sake, we got laundry right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing here? Fucking Bush League stuff. But anyway, let's just go into it. Last week's, we had a good guest on. He killed it, to be honest with you. Austin came with the facts. He brought the energy. He was prepared. I've never seen anyone more prepared thus far. I think it was the best episode. There's just one problem. He was incredibly biased. I mean, he put himself number one in the power rankings. I had to knock him down a size. It's just, my guy, you're 2-4. You knew you were going to lose this week. Come on, we all knew you were going to lose this week. But I digress. So now, Austin is not looking super fierce. He's 2-4. Granted, he points for, he's second. So he's been getting very unlucky. I will give him that. His team is far better than what his record says. But there's a chance he don't even make the playoffs. At this point where you are at, there's a real chance you don't make the playoffs. So that's scary because your team is good. Your team is solid. That's just the way that goes. Let me flip my shiz here. I put it somewhere here. Okay, right here. So as for the predictions on the games, we both went 3 for 5. All time, that puts me at 18 out of 25. Just stay focused. Why will this camera not stay focused? That puts me at 18 out of 25 of the year. Comes in at 72%, and the guest is a 14 out of 20, coming in at 70%. So I got you guys by 2% as of right now. It's not much, but it's an honest living. Jump into it. Now that that's out of the way, I want to talk about some of the crazy trades that were going on. I mean, we already went through. I wanted to stay out of it on the text because I wanted to talk about it in the video, but then people started getting into it, and it's, I got to get into it, you know what I mean? That's just the way it goes. Justin Jefferson, that was under touch of downs, was traded for Puka Nakai. I don't even know how to say his last name. I'm not going to attempt it. Well, I might attempt Nakayu? I don't know. Puka from Middleburg football team. Trade 1-for-1, split trade. There was a lot of talk on this trade. I believe it went through. Let me just double check here, actually, quick on the old cellular device, because I don't know if any more people could have vetoed. Last I checked, there was only one veto. Let's see here. Yeah, still at one veto, so that's probably going to go through. And if it doesn't go through, then you might as well just skip the next couple minutes or whatever, because none of this will matter. But there's big, talks. Justin Jefferson, nobody really knows when he's going to come back. It could be 4 weeks. It could be 6. I usually, when it's a hamstring issue like this on a wide receiver, it's the later one, you know what I mean? Like, hamstring's huge. Wide receiver stop and go all the time. Hamstring is humongous for that. And not for nothing, but Justin Jefferson's known as the best route runner in the league. Well, one of. And that's his bread and butter. He needs them hammies. So, I don't know if the Vikings are going to want to, send out a Justin Jefferson banged up, especially if their season doesn't matter. But they could start winning games in playoffs. They could be in that playoff hunt, and their season does matter. And I could see him coming back maybe a little early. But just getting it right down to the brass tacks, Justin Jefferson, when he comes back in 6 weeks, it's week 7 already. Let's just say he comes back in 6 weeks. That's week 12 or week 13, I believe, and that is his bye week. So he's going to miss that week. And then week 14 is the last week of regular season. So you just gave away. Now, I know you're stout at wide receiver. That's fine. But you gave away Puka. I just think you could have got something a little more, dude. I think you could have. Whether you know it or not, you are very much in a win now position because, let's be frank, your team doesn't score points. And you've been getting insanely lucky points against. You are second, and by 11 points, you're second. Your point plus minus differential is +5 or something ridiculous. You've been coming on the winning end of a lot of these really low scoring games, and that's awesome. That's great for you in a playoff push. But you gotta trading for a player. That's a move that you would expect like a team like me to do. I'm a lock for the playoffs right now. I'd have to pretty much only win 2 games the rest of I have to win less than 2 games the rest of the season to not make playoffs. I believe 7 wins I think is going to be that playoff mark. And I think obviously I'll do that. So that's a move I would do. And you might say, "Oh, I'm only 1 game behind you," but like I said, you're getting lucky. You're getting really lucky in these close ones. So I don't know. Michael, on the other hand, I think pretty much solidifies the fact that he won't be the calendar. I think he had an insanely weak wide receiver core, which is why the trade was proposed by Michael, his running back for, I believe it was Pittman, who got 20 points last week, and Jordan Addison, who got 13, I think. For Josh Jacobs. That was the running back for Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs put up another 10 points, another stinker of a week, and in my opinion, that would have been a good move. It got vetoed to shit because you all saw the Josh Jacobs name, or maybe you didn't want, me to have him, whatever. That was last week's news. No harm, no foul. I don't need him anyway. But that also was not a bad trade that Michael proposed. I know he got cold feet and started texting people, "Please veto the trade, blah, 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 blah." Put me under fire for no reason. But I digress. That wouldn't have been a bad trade to make because Michael's wide receivers are so bad that I believe they put up 3 points, one of them, and 5 points the other. I'm going to go back and look right now. But it was bad. And he got smoked up, no doubt, by Al. But let's just see for funsies what he had. He had a why are they showing projected? Show me the final score. There we go, full box score. So, yeah, sorry about that. T. Higgins, 4 points. Marquise Brown, 7 points. And he had nothing going on at wide receiver points-wise. I think he just got Kendrick Bourne, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he was on the team last week for him, who had a pretty good week. But that would have helped him pretty good. Josh Jacobs didn't do anything. He could have started Rachaad White and missed out on 5 points, but gained 30, essentially. Maybe 25, whatever. He wouldn't have won still, I don't believe. But it would have been a damn close matchup. And all of a sudden, Michael's scoring 150 points. That's the shit I'm talking about. You start scoring 150 points, you're going to start winning. But Michael did change it up. And now at wide receiver, he's got Kendrick Bourne, who did look like a stink fest last week. But, I mean, he's wide receiver 33. He's a pretty mid guy, but you got him. You got Puka, who's probably going to go lower. You don't expect him to do what he was doing. It's the Cooper Kupp show, no doubt. But if Cooper Kupp goes down, which is very possible, Mike has not an all-star squad, but he's got a good squad. And absolutely will not be in last place. Having, Marquise Brown, Kendrick Bourne, and now Puka is a very serviceable wide receiver group. Tanner, on the other hand, I don't know. It could work. Maybe Tanner keeps getting lucky. He finds himself in the playoffs, and he finds Justin Jefferson playing. Now he's got a decently competitive playoff squad. Not bad. But yeah, so that was just pretty much the big drums wanted to get into. Another thing that happened, very, very very injury-prone week for the boys out there. A lot of injuries went down, and of course Ricky Riggs got stuck being, the one who had to bear the cross majorly, because he lost a lot of guys. Again, I mean, David Montgomery, just off the top of my head. But here's what we got. CMC, Trevor Lawrence, Chris Olave, Jimmy G, Justin Fields, Khalil Herbert, Deshaun Watson, Anthony Richardson, Josh Allen, Damian Harris, Zay Jones, just to name a few. It was a crazy week. That's not even the defensive players. So many guys went down. That's not offensive linemen. Terrible week for injuries. And it's going to affect a lot of the fantasy stuff going forward. A lot of these teams, Coys without CMC, not a scary squad at all. A couple of these teams, Middleburg football team lost Anthony Richardson. It's the way she goes, boys. That's fantasy foosball. But going into the predictions, I'll just get right out of the way. Captain Commish Baked Vet. I'm going me. I don't even know. I'm just going to dive into him after. I'm just going to give it down the line. I'm taking Captain Commish over Baked Vet. Easy peasy. Coy's Allen Degenerates. Give me Allen Degenerates. Touch of Downs versus Middleburg football team. Give me Touch of Downs. Snow Bunnies versus Jones for the chip. Give me Snow Bunnies. Riggy Riggs versus Calendar. Give me Riggy Riggs. I know that's a spicy take. Give me Riggy Riggs, though. The boy still, he's going to find a way. So now I'm going to go down the line on each game here. I was going to give Baked Vet Captain Commish Game of the Week. But Alan made a good point. And Steven already said he doesn't think he's going to beat me. So maybe it's not just because, if it's 5-1 versus 5-1. That's huge for the league. That means that we're going to have one clear front runner. And I don't know. It's just huge. This is a huge matchup. It's just, who knows if Baked Vet can score over 130. Maybe the matchup becomes fun. But I just, Baked Vet is one of the luckiest guys I've ever seen. I've never seen a point differential the way that he's got. I think he's literally like the least amount scored on or something like that. Let's see here. He is points against. No, he's okay. So he's middle of the pack points against, but he's got the least points scored, and his differential is about 100, minus 100, and he's 5-1. Just crazy stuff. I don't know how he does. I've never seen anything like it. But yeah, that's gonna be an easy matchup, I think, for me. I think I'm gonna smoke him. I think Big Vet's going down. I think I'm gonna be 6-1, just easy peasy. Then we got Coy's Allen Degenerates. Let's see what I got here. I said big injuries to Coy's, sending them back big time, and I did say last week that Coy's is gonna go on a slumper. I might have even said it 2 weeks ago. He's gonna go on a slumper, and it's gonna start pretty much now. He's gonna go on a skid. But, no CMC. But I also have heard the CMC could play Monday. It's a rib injury. Usually not running back so much, but other positions can usually play through the rib injuries. But running backs get hit so much, and the 49ers are sitting so pretty that they might sit him for a week. So it sounds like he'll be back week 2. But yeah, Allen's going to take advantage of a good matchup for him this week. Give me Allen Degenerates. Easy peasy. Jimmy G and A-Chain also, that doesn't help Brody at all. Saquon also being back for Allen Degenerates is very handy for him. And, Saquon shows he's still a big part of the offense. He's the heart and soul of the Giants. Yeah, I think this is actually going to be a smoke match. Like, I think Allen's going to blow his doors in, to be honest with you. Unless Christian McCaffrey plays, then it'll be closer. But I still got Allen. Then we got Middleburg football team, Touch of Downs. Middleburg football team, I already said my predictions here, but Middleburg football team has both QBs on byes. It's not going to look good for the boy. This might be a double-digit scoring output by Middleburg football team. He thinks he could beat Michael. You just gave him Puka. If you were going to do that trade, maybe wait a week. I don't know. You just gave him ammo against your team, which already probably, you weren't sitting good. No QBs. The free agency's not hot. Yeah, dog shit bowl of the week. Dog shit bowl of the week. Then we got Snow Bunnies, Jones for the chip. Snow Bunny's coming off a skid, giving Calendar his first dub. Let's see what I wrote here. Joseph for the chip has Chase, Thielen on buys. Those are his two hot wide receivers. The one scoring his 30-point games, I mean, Chase has been slow here and there, but Thielen's been quite consistent. So it could be close, but I think that Snow Bunny's dud was, I think that was kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a one-time deal. I don't think Snow Bunny's going to score that bad again. I think Jones for the chip's going to be hurting with his big dogs out. Give me Snow Bunnies easy. Yeah, I think that's going to be a clear match. I think a lot of these matchups are relatively clear, except this one. And this is the one Alan kind of convinced me. Maybe should I give it game of the week because it's 1-5, 1-5. This changes the bottom barrel teams a little bit, with the exception of touchdowns. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. It's pretty straightforward matchup. John just scores more, though. It just seems like, even with the setbacks, he just makes good plays. But that being said, it is getting colder, and Derrick Henry has been showing up more. Tua's been playing good. Lamar Jackson's been okay. But the rest of the squad's just not looking hot. He's definitely got to make a trade. I mean, Taylor could work out more, but Jonathan Taylor didn't really do anything. I think they're going to keep incorporating him more and more, which definitely hurts Allen and Degenerate's team with Zach Moss. But, John's the most unlucky player in fantasy. Let's just get that out of the way. I've never seen anyone more unlucky. Anything he touches, that man, it looks like it dies. Giants, shit. Fucking his fantasy team, shit. Like, maybe add a second manager. I don't know. I don't know what the play is there, but I do think you're going to get the win this week. I think you'll be 2-5. Montgomery's going to come back. Not this week, maybe next week, and then you're back to rolling again. Calendar's still on that front runner, especially now with Puka coming in to be the Calendar model. So then I go lead to my power rankings. My power rankings, I mean, you know how I do them. I have record play a big role just because, when you go up against the guy who's 5-1, say, and you're like a middle pack 3-3, taking that person down means so much more than taking down a 2-4 team, per se. Because they're a good team and their record doesn't show it, it matters so much more beating those big teams. Playoffs, ego, all of it. So Captain Kamish, I got myself at number 1. Snow Bunnies, I have, even though we lost, I have them going up to number 2 because, yeah, Baked Vet won, but it's like, what are we talking about here? If I go to the matchup, he scored, 115 to 109. How does he keep getting away with this? He just can't do it. But, yeah, so I got to bump him down naturally. But, I mean, third up, it's Baked Vet. Just because that record, it will mean a lot. I think if someone gets that win on you, that's going to feel good. Probably not as good as, versus beating, me or a Laraway. But it's going to feel good. You're 5-1. You're front runner for playoffs. So, people want to beat you. I got you with 3. I got Coy sadly at 4 again, even though I think he's going to go on a skid. I think he's going to start dropping heavily. But he's 4-2. And if it comes between him and Middleburg football team, I think Middleburg football team's in a little bit more of a shamble situation right now. So that leads me to number 5. I got Alan Degenerates 3-3. I also believe Alan's got a hot team. That guy is scoring. That boy's scoring points. Hot as a whistle. That's been blown on a lot, I guess. I don't know where I was going with that. But, yeah, I got Alan Degenerates. Then I got Middleburg football team. Like I already spoke on it, his team's going through a tough time. Injuries, Anthony Richardson out for the season is really tough. The QB the QB situation looking bleak, to put it at politely. But 4-2. I mean, he's going to be 4-3 next week, I believe. But yeah, that's number 6. Then we got number 7. I got Jones for the chip. He was very high on himself last week, as you see. And I think that it was a little bit of recency bias maybe playing in that. You had the big week and you were high on the team. And I love it. I respect it. But let's not forget, I think it was the week before last week where I think it was week 4. Maybe. Yep, week 4. You scored double digits. And I believe the only person to score double digits thus far. So, I mean, I don't know, man. You scored 98. You scored 236. I think you just got a volatile team, surprisingly, even with Ja'Marr Chase. I mean, you'd look at that team and be like, no, this is solid. And it is solid. But they're very prone to stinkers. So that's why you are at 7 for me. Even though you are second in scoring, you know what I mean? That's why I got you ahead of the guys that are your record. Then I got Reggie Riggs at 3. I think, it sucks with the injuries, but Montgomery's going to come back. He keeps making good free agency moves and getting a start. He picked up Bills, Latavius Murray. He's starting because their running back went down. So, that guy literally is like next man up. John is like next man up. Doesn't matter who he loses. He makes the best of it, and he's competing still. I mean, we don't have a winless team anymore. With calendar winning, there's no winless teams. You gotta love that. Finally, 9, I got touchdowns. I think that rating will go up next week. We'll see. I know Puka's a big acquisition, but I don't think it's as huge as possible. I just think that trade, it was in Michael's favor because he got him for essentially nothing. Michael's goal right now is to not be last. He needs guys to win. But the Puka does help because that wide receiver room is so bad that literally any starter pretty much would help unless they're on the Giants. Maybe actually even Wan'Dale Robinson would be a better pickup on the Giants than what you got cooking. And last but not least, I got Calendar. That team is, I don't know. I don't know why they can't do it. They can't put up the numbers. But they did win last week. So maybe this is the turning of the tide. Maybe these power rankings get shaked up a little bit if, touchdowns and Calendar start winning. Who knows? And I still think Reggie Riggs is going to squeeze a few out here. I really do. So that's the power rankings. I just want to go through this points for the top points for teams. Number 1, you got me. Then you got Jones for the chip, which I already said. You got his team score as well. Then you got Allen Degenerates, which this is crazy. The top 3 teams, you got the first 5-1 team, number 1, which is what you'd expect. And then you got a 2-4 team and a 3-3 team at second and third. That's wild. 4th coming in, you got a 4-2 team in Snow Bunnies. Then you got at 5th, you got Coys, which has consistently dropped since the beginning of the season. At 6, you got Riggy Riggs. At 7, you got Touchdowns. Riggy Riggs, let's go back to Riggy Riggs. 1-5 team. 7th. Touchdowns. 6th. I apologize. I believe, I got 6 Riggy Riggs is. 1-5 at 6th. At points 4. 7th, we got Touchdowns. 8, we got Middleburg football team. 8th. 4-2. 8th in scoring. I have 200 points more than a guy who only has one loss more than me. That's crazy. Yeah, Middleburg football team at 8. At 9 we got Calendar, and at 10 we have Baked Veteran, who is 5-1. 10. You can't make this up. Jones for the chip almost has 200 points more scored than Baked Vet, and he has won, I believe it is 3 less games. 2-4 versus 5-1. That is crazy. Points against, we got Coys has the least points scored on him. then Middleburg football team, then Snow Bunnies, then myself, Captain Kamish, and then there's quite the jump. It's about a 50-point gap. Goes to Calendar, Baked Vet, Riggy Riggs, Jonesy for the Chip, Touch of Downs, and Alan Degenerates. And I will also add that Jonesy for the Chip, that 8 to 9 spot jump, oh my goodness, is about 40 points. Is about a 40-point jump. So Alan Degenerates has had 200 points scored on him more than Coyce has. He's Alan Degenerates for 3-3. Like, that's how you know his squad is good, because he's getting dunked on, but still 3-3, and he's giving it back. He's giving it back full force. But yeah, that's the matchups, and that's everything I pretty much can speak on. Hope everybody has a good week. Hopefully we all get together a little bit soon, because it's fun. It's always fun. I really want to do the casino night, and we got to get a group pick, fellas. We really do. Hopefully Jones for the Chip gives me a little stats. He said he was going to put a little Excel sheet in for me to edit over. And yeah, fellas, that's going to be it. Thank you for listening to Commissioner's Corner, and you guys all have some good luck, except for Baked Veteran.